Hello and welcome everybody to an episode of the Gauntlet. Jay Nelson is not in tonight, so you guys have to settle for the original host from this show. That would be me. So I am
West.
excited to be on here for NFL Week 5 Gauntlet Grinders. We're going to discuss the best players from last week. We're also going to discuss what's going on with the Eagles because they got destroyed last night in Thursday Night Football. The sky is falling. Is the defending Super Bowl going to be able to do something, or are we in big trouble? We're going to talk about it later and see what's going on. And also, we got our non-sports topic, which is the
Don't tell them.
Okay, well, we're going to keep it in suspense. But that's what I got for you guys tonight. So I want to welcome everybody watching the show. How you doing? And JJ and Dom, you guys are here too. So what's up?
I'm on a mini vacation that started at 3:30. You can see my name, The Beast at Night.
Nice.
If you ever get a chance, if you like roller coasters, go to Mason, Ohio, and ride the Beast at night. It's pitch black. It's in the woods. It's 40 plus years old. It's the longest roller coaster on Earth. There's 3 tunnels. And my girl's never been there, so she's super excited. As am I.
It's kind of scary at Halloween.
Oh, we have matching T-mutes to wear.
Nice.
What matching what?
T-mutes. T-Moo sweatsuits. Want to see it?
Maybe.
While he's doing that, let's go ahead and get started on the topic, which, as you guys know, the Sports Morning of the Week, where we discuss the dumbest people and dumbest moments in sports history. Does anybody want to start us off?
Yeah, I got you. So I can't speak specifically to which person or people are at fault, but last Saturday, the University of North Carolina Tar Heels and the Clemson Tigers had a football game, and someone at UNC got Ludacris to do a pre-game concert. Problem is, these idiots at UNC thought they would get an afternoon game, or God forbid, a primetime game. Unfortunately, they got a noon kickoff. So poor Christopher Bridges, you may know him as Ludacris, did a concert at UNC's football stadium at 9:30 in the morning. 9:30 in the morning. Which, if it's me personally, and I was there, I'd be like, fuck yeah, Ludacris concert at 9:30 in the morning. But suffice to say, it did not go down as planned.
The Ludacris fall off is crazy.
I feel bad for him because God knows what time he had to get up and get there and do sound check. And I mean, how many people were really there other than, hardcore hip hop?
I'm sorry to say this, but the only song I know by Ludacris is "Move, Bitch."
And alluding to the non-sports topic, go listen to Ludacris. Highly underrated rapper.
Okay. I'm going to check out more from his catalog. JJ, you got anything?
Honestly, no. I don't exactly have anything because I haven't actually had the chance to kind of...
What I'm hearing is a lot of excuses. What I'm thinking is Black Guy is unprepared.
What I'm thinking is, hello.
Wow.
What I'm thinking is, hello, have we met? Because when have I ever really had a sports person?
You usually have really good ones when you're prepared.
But I don't look for morons. That's the thing. So I guess I'm never prepared.
Thank you for not just going default and being like, oh, the media.
I remember the one episode
Jackson,
we had. I remember one episode we had. JJ was like, "Yeah, I've really changed as a person, so I'm not going to call anybody a moron anymore."
And that I've stuck to that because I don't do that anymore. And that's
Well,
Okay. Well, do you have a call out?
yes, I do have a call out. Now, if I have to say a call out, I don't know if y'all can see it, but I'm calling them out.
Uh-oh.
I'm
his
calling
own
them
team.
because it's more so not what they say, it's just how they act. And it's like, yo, you got to have some resolve. And I'm calling y'all out to have some resolve because what I've seen is what I feared this past weekend. And it quit. You quit when you're getting your butt whooped. And it's unfortunate, but you can't be a champion if you just quit. Like, you just can't be a champion if you just quit. Yes, sometimes champions get their butts handed to them in their season that they win the championship. Sometimes they get their butts handed to them. But nah, that type of performance on any other team would usually lead to a head coach being fired the next day because it definitely looked like they don't care.
I'm so glad you said that because I asked you two different ways on Wednesday, and you did not answer the question in any form about Harbaugh.
No, I said I would.
Do you want
I
him fired? Will they fire him?
No, I said I like him, but I said I do think it's time to go. But I don't necessarily want him to go, but I do think it's best interest for the team for him to go. And I do think because it's we've had our run, 18 years, we've had our run.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, you would think that success means all the time like that, but
At
even
some point, the message starts to get lost. I was talking to Jordan before the show, and he made the comparison between Tomlin and John Harbaugh, and he said neither one of them is getting fired till they have the replacement lined up. And I could see that.
so, but thing is, I would not want that approach. And I would sit there and say, that isn't really how we operate. You know, the Ravens aren't a team that fires until they have a replacement because it's one of those things.
That's what I was
Don't
saying.
want, what I would don't want is an inside hire if he was let go. I want someone that has a different energy. You know, I want something that's going to, you know,
You want to? So, would you want a retread or a guy getting his first crack at head coach?
it depends. Like, I'll even use my own job as an example. Is morale, and we're a successful team, but we just got a new manager who's a senior team member, and now the energy's just different. And we're still doing the same process, we still have the same message, it's just a little bit different. And it's reinvigorating. And I think it doesn't mean that we weren't successful with the other team. It just meant that you had your fun, you've done your work. It's time to part ways because it's just we're plateaued. I think that's what's happening with this team. If these efforts are going to continue, you need somebody that's outside that has the same type of message, but just a different energy about him.
I think.
I wouldn't mind Mike McDaniel over here. I wouldn't mind that
No.
energy. I wouldn't mind because I know he believes in running the football. He believes in having a quarterback use his skill sets. And I think that it would help them. I wouldn't mind somebody like that if a coaching change was to take place between both teams. Well, it's more so not about half the team because I'll be honest with you, the fire Harbaugh train has been doing this long before this. And I think it's not just about, we're talking about yes, that game had that specific situation, but I think we need to look at the totality of the last 6 years. And it's one of those things that's like, are we peaked out with this current coaching staff? Or is there just a lack of drive? Because at the end of the day, we have 6 defensive stars out. But if many are regarding you as the absolute best top 10, top 3 team, when a guy leaves, somebody else typically replaced. And the strength has been said that defense, especially on the line. I will say this: the injuries would matter more on the offensive side if we get Patrick. Patrick Ricard is the one that we need back. Patrick Ricard is that's the one injury. If you had him, you could withstand the defensive injuries because your offense is going to be good. Your offense would be able to drive in fourth quarter to beat a team or be able to capitalize on turnovers or miscues from a team like Detroit or something like that. But he's not there. Defensive, but it's just more so, are we going to keep doing it because we were progressing, but now that we got to the AFC title game, we regressed to the divisional game last year. And now we're regressing again to the possibility of missing a playoff, but we'll see what happens when injuries, people come back.
I'm going to need you to do me a personal favor, JJ.
I got an idea. What's up?
Depends on what it is.
Before the end of the show, please, I beg of you, please come up with a better name for your next head coach than fucking Mike McDonald. Please.
I said Mike McDaniel.
Oh, okay. Wait, who's that?
That's the Dolphins head coach.
Yeah, him.
No.
That's who you want?
I like it.
Anyways, go, James, sports moron.
Yeah, I've actually been wanting to get this off my chest, but I haven't had the opportunity on the last couple shows because I keep forgetting. But Ayesha Curry, and so I'm gonna read you guys some of the comments that she made. She was on a podcast with Alex Cooper, who does a lot of stuff on pop culture and everything. She interviewed a lot of the contestants from Love Island. So this is what she said in regards to Steph Curry, her husband. Ayesha shared with host Alex Cooper, "No, so I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be a career girl, and that's it. After we got married, we found out we were pregnant with our daughter so quickly. I didn't even have time to think about what I wanted anymore. It's so interesting. I spent my entire life trying to work towards something, and then it kind of just disappeared, and I didn't think twice about it." Okay. There's a lot to unpack with this, but I just thought it was really inappropriate to the way that she went about expressing it. You know, things happen. Like, you have kids, and it kind of gets in the way of doing stuff because it is a big responsibility. We get it. But the way she was talking really was making Steph look bad and kind of taken away from all the sacrifices that Steph has made for her and the kids. That's really what was my takeaway from watching some of the clips in that interview. So I think it was really wrong to do that and put Steph on blast in that way. And I just don't think it's the right thing to do. So Ayesha Curry is a sports moron of the week for me because I just think what she did was really messed up.
Here's my thing, Ayesha Curry, if you're watching or listening. No woman in the history of women, no woman that 100, 1,000, 10 million% didn't want kids has a kid. I don't care what sort of devious things you have to do. My guess is, okay, yeah, it was Steph that wanted the kids, not her. And that's, one of the major things that can break up or ruin a marriage if you're not on the same page about
As a parent, how can you get up there and say
I didn't want kids,
that you never wanted kids?
That's
just that's just wrong. On every single level.
So what's interesting is this is not her take is not something that I have not heard before from women I even know in my life. And so I definitely think I would say to her, like, it's okay that you have felt that way. There have probably been a lot of people that felt like they didn't have the life that they originally wanted. However, when you decided to have it, whatever you can't be upset at that man for the life that he built with you because you chose to do it. And I was like, at the end of the day, what so I look at the whole thing in totality because I'm like, I get the career driven and I understand that because that's how you already self made. But I also think you just also want to be a hot girl too, and you don't have a hot husband. Your husband's kind of boring because all he does is golf, chill. He lives a chill life, and that may not be what you was because we look at you were saying that you want to still get attention. You're a cute girl, and of course everybody likes feeling a hot girl and stuff like a hot boy. So we all go through it. Then you were drinking your girls. Then you make the joke about taking your ring off. I'm like, girl, just say what it is. And like, because at the end of the day, it's you wanted to. What's happening is you have been you had this feeling for your life, and unfortunately, because of choices that were made, you're kind of behind him, and you thought you'd be beside him in other people's eyes. However, the crazy thing is you are living for their attention to that when this man, if you ask him, he would say straight up, she's my equal. The one person you should be wanting that you have it from, you're seeking it from everything else. You have similar characteristics to Kayla Nicole, Travis Kelce's ex, and the attention that you're trying to get from the things that you say. And I'm like, sweetheart, at the end of the day, you made those decisions. So
what did you expect as an
and the
NBA
other thing I
player
forgot
wife other than to be a housewife?
The other thing I forgot to bring up in this conversation is obviously she received a lot of backlash after what she did because, as I said, it's messed up to try to make Steph look bad. Like Steph was the reason you were held back from doing what you want to do in life. But she received all this backlash, and then she went to Instagram and posted a picture of Steph with her and all the kids. Because the fact that she went and did that just kind of shows me that she heard what people said about her on the internet, and it bothered her. So she went to that to try to show that she's a good person in this whole thing.
Unless you know 1,000% before you get married that whoever you're marrying doesn't want kids, then if you want to be a career lady, don't get married.
But James just proved which is the point. You are the attention you're getting. You're living for other people's opinion as opposed to the one that matters to you. And I go to Ice-T when he was asked how he matched his marriage with his woman, who is a woman that is very voluptuous, who he's taken a lot of heat for. They've had so many names. He stood 10 toes down because he's like, I don't know how to tell you to make your marriage. I know how to love my wife and my marriage. He doesn't care what nobody thinks about his marriage or who he's with or how she feels. She doesn't care about that. It's the couples that are secure. The person is secure in yourself. You don't care if nobody sees that. Because to be honest with you, you think Savannah ain't never tripped. Savannah ain't never tripped. And why do people love her? Because she's beautiful, but she doesn't care. She doesn't care. She cares about what she's posting. It's like, Aisha, if you posted that comment, then you're telling me that you don't even really know yourself the way you think you do. Because if you are so strong in your opinion and how you feel about yourself, you could withstand backlash. You can take it. It doesn't. If you didn't care about it, why would you do anything different? Yeah. So what? I may not like these girls. I may not do the same thing that these girls. I may listen to the music, but the one thing I can respect about the Sexy Reds and all them is that they know who they are,
right?
And they're okay with what response comes to them. They're not. They know what they're going to get, and it's like they're not. It's so different because it's like your husband is boring to most people, unfortunately, when it comes to the life that you probably wanted. You probably wanted to be out with your man, going to the nice galas and the balls and doing your thing, or you out there doing everything and all this.
Still do that. They can afford a babysitter.
Right. And I would say this, the one comment I would say is you can talk about not wanting the life you have. I would just always leave out that you never want the kids.
Aisha Curry, you want to trade places?
I would leave out the kids comment because just leave that out and leave that private because that's one thing. you can have a conversation with privately because there are people that like that. But when you put
Too
it
many of
publicly,
these
it's
athlete
literally
wives, like
going to hurt your kids now. They're going to see this. They're going to be reminded
yeah.
of this. Anytime they get pissed off at somebody gets pissed off at them, boom, here comes this line.
Your mom didn't want you.
Boom, your mom, all the things that she's doing, boom, your mom is this. And it's like, you didn't like the life, James right. You didn't like the life that you chose, you had. You didn't like the hand that was dealt to you, but you dealt it yourself, and now you got to deal with it for the rest of your life. You dealt that hand for yourself. You could have left Steph because he wanted kids, but you didn't leave Steph. So you dealt this hand for yourself.
Gauntlet grinder.
The fact that when she said, I'll let you go, Don, but just let you know what let me know the hot girl portion is the fact that when James said she explained that she got pregnant within like a year or so after marriage. I was like, yeah, y'all was freaking like no tomorrow. That's what that was. And y'all was the next, boom, here comes the baby.
All right, guys, when we get back, it's time for a new segment. Stay tuned. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got a new segment for you before we transition to the NFL Week 5 Gauntlet Grinders. We're going to see how much do you guys know ball. I'm going to go through a series of NFL-related questions, and we're going to see how many of them we can guess correctly. So
you already know the answers, so this isn't fair.
No, it's you versus JJ in the comments.
Just go to the next segment.
Let's see, JJ versus Dom. Who knows ball? All right, question number 1. Which is the only player to win both Super Bowl MVP and regular season MVP twice? Take a guess.
JJ, you go. I have an idea, but I don't think that it's right.
I've got a couple. I've got ideas too. I want to say. I really want to say it's
two of each.
No, it's not that one. Actually, it could.
No. James, you said 2 of each, right?
Yeah, win the Super Bowl and regular season MVP twice.
It's not who I think it is, and I don't have a clue of who my next
Peyton
guess
Manning?
would be.
Dom, who's your guess?
Tom Brady?
Is that your guys' final answer?
I don't have a second guess.
Okay.
I have a second guess, but he's.
Yeah, what's the second guess?
I was gonna say Patrick Mahomes, but I don't think he did. I think he lost one of the MVP years that he won MVP.
Yep. Okay.
But I'm gonna stay with Peyton.
It's none of the 3 that we mentioned, isn't it?
The correct answer is Joe Montana.
Oh, that was my second guess.
He was my third. He was my third.
I did say it was no one that
you guys got to trust yourselves, man. All right.
No. It's like I was like, it has to be Joe because there's only a couple of quarterbacks that have won multiple MVPs and multiple championships.
All right, so here we go.
There's not a couple. There's one.
There we go. Next question. Which team holds the record for the most points scored in a single season? With 606 points.
Rams, I think. It's not the Rams. It's not the Lions. Rams is my only guess. Rams or Lions.
Is that the Broncos of? I think it's the Broncos of Peyton Manning.
With Peyton Manning. Yeah. You might be right. I think you got me, JJ.
Yep, the correct answer was the 2013 Broncos when Peyton Manning threw NFL record 55 passing touchdowns. So there you go. JJ gets a point for that one.
Okay. I missed those times. I kind of want to see that again. I want to see 50 touchdowns. I want to see it.
Which player is the only player to score in 6 different ways? Rushing touchdown, receiving, kickoff return, punt return, and a fumble recovery.
Gotta be Devin Hester. It's not, but my guess is Devin Hester.
It's a
kickoff return,
punt return,
rushing TD, receiving TD, and a fumble return.
I want to say Brian Mitchell.
Final answer?
Hester's my guess, but I don't think it's right.
He is a Chicago Bear.
Oh.
But not Devin Hester? What?
But it's not Hester. But he is a Chicago Bear.
Tillman's my only other guess, but
The Walter?
Nope. Close, but no.
Someone like way back when.
Correct answer is Gale Sayers.
Oh,
Yeah.
So way back when.
Yeah. And you know, it's
Damn
funny
it,
when
these are good. I like
when he
this
said
segment.
that, I drafted Gale Sayers when I did all-time NFL draft, and I just immediately remember looking at
He was
all
a
his numbers.
spectacular kick and punt returner.
He's the one that had the famous quote that he just needs like 5 yards in a cloud of dust, and he's gone.
Yeah.
Or he needs like 5 inches a day later, and he's gone.
Fuck.
All right. So
Awesome.
let's stay with the running back.
So JJ still got me 1-0.
Which running back has the most games of 200 plus yards?
Ooh. JJ, you go. 200. Fuck, I want to Google it just so I can know, but I'll wait for the answer. I think my guess is probably still wrong. It's going to be someone else that we're not thinking of.
200 plus rushing yards?
Most games with 200 or more rushing yards.
I'm going to go Jim Brown.
That's definitely not it. Or it is. I'm going AP. It's neither.
The correct answer is Adrian Peterson.
Yes! 1-1!
So Dom gets a point.
1-1!
Dom gets a point.
That was my second.
Here we go.
It's all good.
Here we go. This is the last one for the win. Which player holds a record for the most net yards in a season? Rushing, receiving, and return yards. Kickoff return and punt return.
Ooh.
I don't know about kick returns. So he must have had some.
In a season?
In a single season.
Not that it matters, but do you have the
Or
number?
actually, no, all time. It's actually all time.
Wait, all time or in a season?
Which player holds the record for the most combined net yards?
All time?
Rushing, receiving, and return yards.
All time, not single season?
Yeah, all time.
Then I'm definitely going to, I think I may miss this, but I don't care. I definitely think I might go, no, but he's strictly receiving, returning yards. Because I know Brian Mitchell really did have a crazy A type situation. And then I'm looking at.
It had to be someone that was a returner for a long time, as well as an
Actually,
RB.
I'm wrong. This is for single season.
Single season.
This is for single season.
Okay,
not all
rush,
time.
receiving, and returning.
Yep.
Okay, that makes it a little bit different because they definitely couldn't be that.
No, return is what throws me off. Because who's getting those kinds of touches and targets, and also on special teams?
I'm leaning towards. I have two people, and they're both in the same division, and in the AFC West. I'm going to lean Darren Sproles.
Dom?
It's someone that returned kicks and punts that I'm not thinking of, and also got a lot of touches and catches. I'm going Marshall Faulk, but we're both wrong.
It is Darren Sproles with 2,696 yards in 2011.
Shout out to you, JJ.
JJ for the win.
You know, it's crazy because the whole time I was like Darren Sproles or this, and I was like,
because
Darren.
He probably had whatever on special teams.
I remember seeing that fact and just being blind blown, but that was a heck of a year. I was like either Darren Sproles. Or
you just have the total yards, or like each one broken down.
Well, I had the total yards. I looked up the total yards. No,
not you, James.
Oh.
So that's all. It's like total net yards. So
right.
All those returning yards.
If you had the numbers for each one. So you probably had
so Darren
about
Because I was looking at
14,
Jamal Charles, and I was
1,500
like,
yards rushing and receiving, and then
I
all
feel
those
like most
return
people
yards.
would have guessed.
Fuck! Where'd you pull that from, JJ?
I feel like most people would have guessed Devin Hester for that one.
That was my original guess.
it was, but I was even him. It was, I wasn't, I remember because when you said, I just remember something about Darren Sproles doing something of a record. And then I was like, I kept going to other people because I was like, but every time I kept going to other people, I was like,
I was not
I
even
really
thinking
feel
about
like
Darren Sproles.
Darren Sproles.
I feel like when we discuss punt returners and kickoff returners, Darren Sproles is kind of forgotten a little bit. Because it's always Devin Hester.
Yeah, because he was so good on offense as well.
Dante
Most
Hall,
of the great,
all these people are was brought up, but Darren
most
Sproles
of the
was
great kick and punt returners weren't really
Darren
shit.
Sproles was damn good on special teams.
Yep, and that's who. And the return, the offensive game where he was actually, that's what made it solidified to say it. I was like,
a factor.
I was like, it has to be him because he actually was a factor in his team's offense.
Devin Hester is as dumb as a Monday morning at work is long. Couldn't play corner, couldn't play wideout, but
Sproles
God forbid he catches that ball and can just freelance.
His rookie year, I still remember rookie year of Devin Hester.
Yeah, that's got to be in every week segment, James. I love that.
Yeah, it was. I knew it would be fun, so we're gonna bring it back next week. But next up, guys, we got our Gauntlet Grinders from NFL Week 5. Does anybody want to start us off?
I definitely can. I want to first on my AFC side, I'm going to give it to Drake May because going up in a hostile territory, facing the hottest quarterback in the entire NFL to everybody, to have the turnovers in the situation that you had, and to still get that win. Your defense grinded with you, but you stood toe to toe with a counterpart of yours who you're often considered the next one, and you definitely grinded it out and did your thing. So I have to give it to him on that one. And the NFC side,
the Eastern Conference.
The Eastern Conference, yes. The NFC/East Conference. Shout out NBA comes back in a week and
already did
3 days.
No, that's till like the 21st, I think.
The 21st, like next Monday or Tuesday or whatever. Not this following Monday, but after. But anyway,
the Sixers brought back the Allen Iverson jerseys for this season.
Yes.
And shout out to him too, being 6 months sober.
I was going to say sober for 6 months.
And it's something that sobriety is a big deal. And sobriety is life changing. So shout out to him for that one. But I'll say NFC side, I am going to give it to, he always does his thing, Mr. Puka Nacua. And Puka is, he is just a grinder. He's your perfect type of wide receiver because he don't talk. He just get the ball, catch, make the play, get back next. He does his thing, and you can think
to break that record,
made by his former teammate, right? But like I Puka Nacua, those are my grinders, Mr. Puka and Mr. Drake May.
You want me to go, James?
Yeah, you go right ahead.
2 quarterbacks, both from the NFC. CJ Stroud, sorry, JJ, 23-27. 244 yards, 4 TDs, no picks. That's one of the, maybe not yards wise, but like completion percentage, 4 TDs, no picks. That's one of the best games of his career. Sidebar, have y'all seen the meme with the white chick with what looks to be a fat ass in a gray dress? And then dude's like, hey, turn around and let me see that Ravens defense.
It goes to, I have to be honest with you, and I will say this. It's funny you said that because you're right, though. So,
y'all lost your identity.
No, they didn't lose their identity.
Fuck they did. Your defense is terrible. It's the Ravens.
Let me finish. They didn't lose their identity. They are just mentally cracked right now. They're not, they know what they need to do. They're just mentally cracked right now. Because even last year, as bad as the defense was, the one thing they at least could do was still tackle. They ain't even tackling or trying to tackle right now. They just cracked. They know what to do. We still have our identity. They just cracked.
Fair. Other one, also from the NFC, one, I wish I knew his middle name. Birth name first and last, McCorkle Jones. 33-49, 342 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, and they beat the Rams. The Red Cowboys have one loss, and it was when they're 200 and hang on, I've got it written down somewhere. Hang on. Bear with me. God damn it, come on.
I might have had my mix.
$265 million dedicated to Brock Purdy. And I think there's a quarterback controversy in San Francisco. Like, yeah, okay, realistically.
Mac Jones is going to start this week. So, if he as I said, if he continues to win games,
we talked about this. Like,
I'm not sure you can go back to Brock Purdy if they continue to win games.
I agree with you 100%, but the salary cap and the GM's job has 265 million reasons why you have to go back to Purdy.
Their job is to win. Their job is to win football games and put the best.
I agree.
That gives them the best chance.
I 100% agree with you. I'm sure we all do.
Because the Atlanta Falcons felt that way about Kirk Cousins.
I think
so why could this not happen again?
But I think what you're seeing is Brock Purdy has so much more time with the Kittles, the McCaffreys, the Samuels, the Ayuks, and now the Pearsall. But Kittle and Ayuk and all are gone. Whereas Mac Jones, being on this team, has had the time with the Pearsalls, the Tongas, the Bourne,
Kendrick Bourne,
and so it's perfect
doing
for him.
More with less.
But they
have a lot less money.
They're less by the standard of who their counterparts are, but together as them as a crew. They know each other a little bit. He knows how to hit it to Kendrick Bourne. He knows
like you were saying on Wednesday.
Playing with Kendrick Bourne in New England.
Practicing with the backup wideouts and whatnot.
It's just I like one of the reasons why before that game, and I actually did win a parlay on that game. And I remember in my group chat with my people, the guy was so kind to give me a compliment he's like, you called it for Kendrick Bourne. That's because when I looked at the games and looked at the matchups, I saw the chemistry between those two. And so it's like once he knows him, and then lo and behold, here he goes to go off of that nature, going over 100 plus yards. But I think, so I will tell people on those props and everything, you might need to look at those guys that Matt gets cool with and compare it to how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defend them, because you might find some value in them in props to help you score big this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go to the AFC on this one. And for the first time this season, Trevor Lawrence, come on down. 221 passing yards and a passing touchdown and 10 carries for 54 yards and 2 touchdowns. And listen, Trevor Lawrence is not somebody that I've ever really been extremely high on. I've always thought he's kind of overrated because I remember he was a great college quarterback for Clemson and won the national championship there, and he was outstanding. But since he came to the league, we really didn't see like the same. He hasn't lived up to the hype, essentially. And the Jags are never a team that I take too seriously. But that was a good win for them against the Kansas City Chiefs. Game-winning drive. He runs it in for the touchdown. Actually, somebody stepped on his foot and he fell down. And it's funny that we mentioned it, but I forgot during Sports Moron segment. If you watch the play, Chris Jones is just standing around there. Not even trying to attempt to stop the play. So
guess who else the Jaguars beat this year? Red Cowboys.
Yep. That's their only loss.
That AFC South division is super exciting.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting down the stretch with Indianapolis and Jacksonville, because I think they're both pretty good teams. Jacksonville also has a great defense. Could also give it to Devin Lloyd for that interception return for a touchdown. Devin Lloyd's having a really, really good season. And then in the NFC, I'm going to give it to Rico Dowdle with the Carolina Panthers, career high 205 yards rushing against the Miami Dolphins in that comeback win. And Rico Dowdle gets the chance to go up against his former team, the Dallas Cowboys. And in his weekly interviews this week, he said, buckle up. So I think he has a little something extra ready for the Cowboys in this game. So don't be surprised if he has another big game against Dallas.
And I wanted to ask y'all a question on about the division of the AFC South. Now, are you now Houston's offense in the last 2 games has done pretty well. Are you attributed to them figuring it out, or the teams that they face? Because the Ravens, of course, are in a funk, and then the team before that they faced, I believe, was one of the lowly Titans. So, do you think like Houston has enough that they can turn it around and maybe compete with the Colts and the Jaguars for this division, or do you think
don't
like
think
that
so.
they're knocked out?
Nope.
I don't think so. I think those 2 teams are a class above Houston.
Refer to my
Even if
sports
they're
moron
healthy.
from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Traded
Well,
your
looks like
only
we
good
missed-
tackle in the offseason.
Man,
Then
I feel like we
traded-
missed. I feel like we missed on the sports moron. So just one more thing, since I was on the topic of the Cowboys, Jerry Jones, when he was seen at the game against the Jets, flipping off fans,
Same thing,
with his
right?
middle finger, he was fined $250,000 for that. And in an interview, he stated that he meant to give the fans a thumbs up, not flip them off.
That's
Like, come on,
too
bro.
many fingers apart. If you wanted to do this and you confuse this and this, but these are 2 fingers apart.
That's the reason why we love Jerry Jones, though. He's very entertaining.
And I meant to tell you guys this because I realized that we didn't do it on Wednesday. We never, I think, picked the pick for the Bears and the Commanders. I don't think we got that one.
And Chicago Bears.
And I'll take the
revenge game for
I'll take
last year's Hail Mary.
I'll take Chicago too. Dom, who you got?
Washington is the oldest team in the NFL.
Okay, didn't
And
know
that. I hate picking division rivals, but
you do are. And I do want to shout out to Jay. He was not here with us on the picked off as he is in tonight. My apologies. I didn't get a chance to shout you out that day. So I wanted to shout you out now that we did miss you on that day on Wednesday. I know I kind of went a little tangent, but I was trying to get that out the way.
The She-Eagles.
Okay, yeah. Shout out to him. Ladies and gentlemen, Philadelphia Eagles.
The
My
She-Eagles.
team. Back-to-back losses for the first time since 2023. And it has not looked pretty for the last 2 weeks. There's drama in the locker room with AJ Brown.
Really all season, other than a quarter here, a quarter there.
We don't know what's going on. The offensive coordinator's been bad. Jalen Hurts, there's so much blame to go around. But last night, I really think Jalen Hurts, that was the first time in quite a long time that I could say, man, this guy just played bad. He did. There was 2 plays. First play was the missed throw of Devontae Smith, who's wide open. He would have scored a walk-in touchdown from 89 yards out. And then the interception was just a bad decision. A.J. Brown was open on that play, and he forced it, and it almost went all the way back for a pick 6. So Jalen not playing well. That game was just a game where I didn't see him have the confidence. There's blame all the way around. The offensive line's not playing well. But the biggest talking point is about A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. What's going on? Do they get along? Does A.J. want to stay in Philly? Listen, I think what it boils down to is that this team is not playing at a high level. And there's been concerns that's been brought up during the season of how the offense is sputtering and not being consistent and looking great for half of the game and looking terrible for a half of the game. But I don't believe that it is that extreme level. I feel that AJ is frustrated. I feel that AJ is frustrated by the team's play as he should be. I feel that everyone on the team is frustrated to a certain degree, but they're not as honest and forthcoming like A.J. Brown is. So if you're a competitor at this level, then you would not be satisfied by how they're playing. So as far as everyone being upset with A.J. Brown, I totally don't understand it. I think that some things he should probably keep in-house. I do agree with that. But A.J. Brown is not saying something that anybody else hasn't said. He's saying what people are thinking,
Yeah.
but
You
is
gotta be
afraid to
better.
actually say it. So I do think that the Eagles have some big issues right now.
So help me clarify real quick.
They are a defending Super Bowl champion.
But James, really quick for you. When
I'm
you
almost
say
done. I'm almost done.
I was going to ask you a question in addition to that. Okay.
Go ahead.
Now I was saying, what is he actually? What has he said that you're saying everybody has said? Like, what's he saying? Is he saying that we're not getting the ball spread out way? We're not focused enough? Like, what's the actual quote? That's what I'm want to know.
We're not playing well offensively, and that if we're gonna, be a champion team again, we cannot play this way. And it's not just about getting AJ Brown the ball. It's not just about a passing offense. The rushing offense has been terrible. You see this offensive line play.
Your O-line is
They're not blocking. They're not opening holes.
As good as it was.
People say give Saquon Barkley the ball for what? There's nowhere that Saquon is able to run.
Nowhere to go.
So they're running the same offensive plays and just telling Saquon to run into a wall of defensive linemen. So the passing offense, the rushing offense, it doesn't matter. They're not executing and playing at the level that they should be. So if you're a competitor at this level, you should be pissed off by this. And after getting smacked by division rival that you're a class above, the New York Giants is not on the same level as the Philadelphia Eagles. They're not. And last night was an unacceptable performance. And now they have 10 days to think about it. And I hope it hurts them. And I hope that when they come out of this was the turning point of the season and they get back to playing the way that we know they can. But what they've shown so far this season is a lot of inconsistency, and this is not good enough to, try to compete and go back to the Super Bowl.
So, it's the only, like I say, let's say rebuttal is I do think there is a little bit of disagreement on something, because if you had said, if everyone is saying the offense needs to be playing better, that also does mean highlighting each other's portion, but then who are we highlighting? Because who's not playing better? The offensive line, okay, great. We understand that, but then I'm looking at the totality of like, every Super Bowl champion will tell you it's hard to repeat and you are going to have your ups and your downs. You guys went through that after the first Super Bowl, and now this team is going through it now. So I think what I'm realizing is that if this is probably expected, but what I don't think is, I think what I think is a little bit different is that it may not be everybody has been saying it, but somebody, one or two may have said, yeah, they're the reason. No, they're the reason. And it's like, because I remember when my Ravens, and I'm only bringing them up in the quarterback and just getting a piece of the locker room. I remember at a halftime that after the game, Ray had said that the team was just blaming each other in the locker room. Offense blaming defense, defense blaming offense. And it was a locker room thing that happened when it was all about everybody needs to play better. Everybody's saying they need to be playing, but there was a little bit of pointing fingers. I don't think it's to that degree, but I could see somebody saying, we need to do this. Because I will say, yes, you guys had not been looking great throughout those 4 or 5 wins. You did win those games, but you can look and see what was working to help win those games that possibly come back. You got some turnovers, but the run game was the catalyst with Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. They ran to the point of wanting to get, and you guys were able to overcome whatever obstacles. That part was at least starting to show that it was working. Then I look at last night, and I remember seeing Saquon in the first drive and first carries and everything was going off and doing his thing. Seen it working to Dallas Goedert, and they was doing their thing. But then they started throwing more than they started running, and then here comes the problems. And it's like, that's happened the last 2 games, and it's 2 straight losses. And so it's like, when I'm looking at it whole, it's like, maybe somebody did think in their mind, it's not really us. It's all of us, but we do need to highlight this junction more on this topic to get past this. And that's what I more so that's what I kind of felt like, but I
Well,
don't think it's things that can't be recovered. I think you definitely can get through it and rebound, but it wouldn't surprise me if one group or anything, because you have ego and when you have pride and confidence in yourself. Some people ain't have the strength to sit there and be okay with you telling them that they ain't doing their job. And the first thing you try to tell somebody they ain't doing, they gonna point back to you and be like, but you ain't doing this.
I
I
think
don't
they
think
can
it's
turn it. I think they can turn around as well. But
absolutely.
but what we need is a get back game. We need a game where we come out and we show that consistency and show that we can be that dominant team that we've been in the past. We have not seen that so far this season, but I feel like they need a really good performance to get this thing going, because the schedule's not going to get easier.
I think your expectations. I think the expectations could be the same as the Super Bowl, but I think it's going to be in a different way, because I didn't know this last night. Y'all lost 10 starters on off defense or so like that. Yeah, you ain't gonna look like you did last year. Yeah, you lost you lost offensive players and stuff. Yes, you are not going to look at it. So it may have to be done differently. So I would say to y'all, if you let's say you
Totally agree.
start off with a slow start and then finish strong in the next game and win, I would even look at that as a win, because at least you're doing something. And then the next game, it's not a slow start. It's only one drive or two drives. And but it's like if you come out thinking, not you, but I'm saying if people come out thinking, oh, they need to get back to Super Bowl form for like they did last year, I don't think that's realistic, because this is a different team. It's going to take it time. It may be a different approach this year. They may not have the dominant defense that's going to be making those splurge plays. They may be a decent defense that has the capitalization on a turnover point. They may not be that offense that has 2,000 yards from Saquon. They may be that offense where it looked like an actual offense where you use the wide receivers, the tight end, and the running back. I just think it's going to be different, but I think it's just I wouldn't even panic right now. Even if they went 4-3, I'd be like, look, just walk them better, because you have seen your own team win 6 or 7 straight games and lead itself to a Super Bowl. You've seen your team rack up wins to rebound. So it ain't the end of the world. Just just win the game and build on it. You're not a complete product at this point, because if you're a complete product at this point, we should be at the Super Bowl. Period.
Don, what's your take on the Eagles?
My bad.
Well, they still have, and I think it's not close. The Eagles still have the best 1 through 53 in the NFL. The O-line is not looking like what it did last year or the year before or the year before, the year before, the year before. Like, PFF or whatever, advanced analytics site you choose. The Eagles are middle of the pack as far as O-line. And yeah, of course, it's like JJ said, like, Saquon's not going to run wild when the holes aren't there. But, like, honestly, James, like, you're lucky. I don't know if you're personally panicking or not. If you are, if you aren't, whatever. Like, you're still 4-2. You got the best roster in the NFL. Defending Super Bowl champs. You've got a top 7 or 8 quarterback, arguably the best running back in the NFL. 2 top 20 receivers. The defense is really good. Like, yeah, last night, bad luck. Very bad luck. Not scoring any points in the second half. The turnovers, not good. But it's one game. And, yeah, this year at least, probably, the division looks like a walkover. Like, the Giants are doing nothing. Commanders, don't got to worry about it. Dallas is Dallas. So I wouldn't panic, but I would be on alert.
It was a perfect storm for the Giants to do what they did last night. It was not anything indication of you guys. It's honestly, you were expected to be in a competitive game, because it's a quarterback that can use his legs, and we have seen in the league when a quarterback uses his legs, so it's going to be a competitive game.
They will see the Giants in 2 weeks again in Philadelphia.
That's your chance for the get back.
I expect us to take these next 2 games, and I'm expecting to see a much better approach with this team. I feel like the Eagles had an unbelievable run of winning like 20 of their last 21 games, and that just came to an end. So the Eagles have kind of forgotten what it feels like to even have a loss. But now you know. Now you know it's serious. So I want to see what they do. They got 10 days to figure it out. And hopefully the Eagles get everything turned around.
And the wisest thing, I think it really, to your point, is that you're right. Like you figured out how to become a champion. Now you need to figure out how to defend it.
That's the hardest thing. Winning the
a lot
Super
of teams
Bowl
have been back to back
compared to just even getting back, let alone winning 2.
Right.
You have to figure out how to defend it. It's a different approach when you're a good team that hasn't won a Super Bowl and you're trying to get there and how teams play you. It's another thing when you've actually done it and you're still that same good team and now these teams got to play you.
Exactly. All right, so to wrap up the show with the non-sports topic.
Dom.
Where's it at? Hang on. BRB.
I think he answers this question. He chooses the other one. It's like,
he's trying to Google his answers like he was during the other segment. Best idea ever, man. I knew this was going to be a great segment, so I'm really glad you guys enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
I'm sure Jay will like it. But JJ is the first champion of the ball.
How about that?
All right, so Dom, what are we doing?
Well, long overdue. Finally announced 2-3 days ago. Versus. Y'all remember Versus? Cash Money. No limit. Who you got? You guys go.
You take it away, James, first. I'll be over there. I'm watching.
I do not know that much about either of these artists, but based off the name,
the honesty,
it's a group. Groups.
Just
groups.
Based off of the names
or entertainment companies.
Based off the name, I'm just going to give it to No Limit.
So
that gives me the confidence because they don't put limits on themselves. But Cash Money, there's a limit to how much money you can have. Money is not limitless. There's a limit to how much you can have in life. So just based off the names and not knowing anything about either one of them is No Limit for the win.
I love that you did that. I love your honesty about it because a lot of times people will try to answer and be like,
Nope.
So they're huge entertainment companies that produce some of the best artists and the best records of the 90s and some part of the 2000s and stuff. You have big time artists like Lil Wayne, who came from Cash Money. Yep. You got No Limit Records. That's Master P. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Goes on. Keep going, JJ.
No Limit is Master P, right?
Correct.
Or was that Dre? It's Master P.
No Limit is certainly Master P.
Right. You have Master P, and then Master P had Choppa, who was like, it's like, so for me, I'm a big time dancer, and I used to like to, shake the romper and all that stuff. So Choppa Style came into play. Then you had Back That Booty Up, Back That Ass Up from Juvenile. And I will say the reason why I will give it to Cash Money is for that song there. That song by Juvenile with everyone else on there, Manny Fresh and Lil Wayne, it could be 2035 and you can still dance to it the way you would do back in 1999 when that song first debuted. And I think above all, their artists made more hits for me. And so I love them both. I love them both because I've had burnt so many songs from all of them. But I've always been Cash Money. Cash Money for the 99. But No Limit was nice. No Limit was nice. And all they're nice. So I think you go No Limit then, Dom.
Probably. I mean, and I think they're doing it live. And Lil Wayne is not having any part in it because he's, he thinks he's too big for it. But if you go based on hits, it's relatively equal.
Yeah.
I think No Limit had the better roster as far as rappers. Like, and I'm not even counting any of the Miller Boys, but like you're talking Mystical, Fiend, Soulja Slim, Mac. Cash Money had Juvie, a young Lil Wayne, and that's about it.
They
It's
have
funny
Manny
because
Fresh in them.
for
They have,
almost as many years as I've been rooting for this Cash Money No Limit versus, I wanted to see the same thing, but Manny Fresh against Beats by the Pound / KLC. Because KLC, like, and it's funny
was
because
it?
James said it earlier. He said the only Ludacris song I know is "Move, Bitch." You know who made that song? That beat? KLC, the drum major. I'm just
Wasn't BG Cash Money too?
yes, he was. Love BG.
Me too. I just like his first beat. I just remember his one song. He was like, "Your heart beat for you scared," and that beat was so hard. And I used to listen to some of his songs with beats, and I love Big Timers. But
Same.
I love the Big Timers, and I will say, but it's just it's Mystical, of course. You got him. I just remember him on. You mentioned Ludacris's "Move, Get Out the Way." Here I come. Here I go. Don't stop.
Uh-oh, don't
Uh-oh,
duck,
you
bitch,
stop.
move.
Move. You see them headlights. You see the fucking crowd. It was just he definitely I remember that music video, everything.
Everybody can relate. Everybody can relate to that song because you drive in any major city where there's a lot of traffic, you're just like, I see you on the highway. Get the fuck out of my way.
Right.
Or if you're ever in a limo and you don't tell the limo driver to play "Move, Bitch," you fucked it up.
Right. But
That's my song right there when I'm
but
in
on the
road
flip
rage.
side with Cash Money, I will always, because I love this joint. Every time I hear it, and I just think of being at a cookout, seeing the music video, is The Way of Life. Baby,
That
I'm a
was my prime.
stunner.
98,
I ain't gonna
99,
change
2000.
it. Don't you know it's the way of life if you want it? Partly because I really had a crush on the guy who sang that verse, but I love that song. Partly because I had a crush. No, but this is like taking me back to my teenage years. James, I think you'll like them both. I think you'll like them both.
I probably would.
Teenage years, like 1 year, because you were like 12 or 13 in
Well, I'm
99,
talking about
2000,
more so
weren't you?
like the 2000s point. I was like 10 or 11 back in those days, but
Okay.
I was listening to all of them. So yeah, I listened to them when we could. I mean, we couldn't actually watch them at home because the mom was telling us, no, we can't watch that stuff. But, BT After Dark came.
Put it to you this way, and here's why I can't pick. I don't remember which one came. Oh, definitely Master P came out first. I saw it on MTV, the Make Him Say video. I watched that video and I was just fucking shock and awe. Turned off the TV, went to Best Buy, bought that Master P Ghetto Dope album, and I was like, yeah, this is that shit. And then probably less than a year later, BET Juvenile, ha, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Let me go to Best Buy and get his album, 400 Degrees. Honestly, Juvenile's 400 Degrees album, like they could just pick that and probably beat No Limit. And like I said, No Limit's got the better roster. But if you just put on 400 Degrees and let it ride first to last song, like there's only a couple skips on that.
I already know what other entertainment companies you could go compare against, but just we're not going to do We ain't gonna do 50. We ain't gonna do a G Unit versus a Earth Gotti's crew because that's about a wash now.
Badly.
But it's great because your Ja Rule said he finally ends his beef with 50, and I was like, no shade, Ja. I love you, Def, but I was like, but that's been done for like 15, 20 years now. Like
It's a
this has
joke
been
now.
settled
Like
a
my buddy
long
texted me and
time
he was
ago.
like, "Hey, do you want to go with me to this concert?" And I'm like, "Who?" He was like, "Ja Rule." I was like, "No, thank you." He was like, "My man's." But there's all sorts of shit on like TikTok and Instagram, like homies calling up their homies like, "Hey, you want to go with me to this show?" Like, what show? He's like, Ja Rule. He's like, "Man, why the fuck would you call me asking that shit?"
Honestly, I would go because I like all my old songs, but that's the consensus. I like them both. I like John. I like 50. I like them both. But yeah, I don't know. Earth that crew was kind of because they had my girl Ashanti. But good question. So James, if you had a group that you could do the same thing and do the non-topic, who
A
would it
group?
be? Like you know how he just did No Limit and Cash Money. That's like a big entertainment group for like a rap entertainment group. If you had one that you wanted to like pose as a scenario, because I don't do it because I only do the girls. What would it be?
James is picking Nickelback.
No.
Or you two? I want to hear who James likes. Who's he going to compare? Because I like the.
Like in a versus, like as in a rap battle thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, would you do?
I would say how about Kanye West versus Eminem?
That's a really good versus, and
I think that's a good matchup.
That's a really tough one for me. That's a really tough one because I love them both, and I could just listen. I could hear the songs now.
M would win that, but Kanye, like he's not really. Kanye is the next generation's Dr. Dre. He just rapped a little bit more. Kanye is mostly a beat maker.
I don't know. I think it depends on which type of Kanye you get. Because if I get the Kanye that was graduation of college dropout, I would give him every battle chance to take down Eminem because that was a serious Kanye to me.
That's the Kanye that I remember.
And I don't know because I mean, if you look at the way he's rapped between the both of them, that Kanye coming up, yeah, that's the one. I think that's just as serious as an Eminem as a serious rapper. The one now when he went convert over to like Monster and all that other ones afterwards, they were still fire. But those two albums, the way he would go, it was the poetry and emotion, the symbolism, the things that you would catch on when he would say it was the same as you would with Eminem. I would sit there and tell both of them, and I hate to say this, Lord forgive me. I would sit there and tell Eminem what Kanye said the most evilest thing about your daughter, and I would go to Kanye and say, Eminem just ragged on your dead mother, and have them make a verse against each other and see what happens. Because I think that would get the seriousness out of both of them.
Fair.
And I don't mean that, I'm not saying that in any way of actually trying to like wish anything harm, like saying something like that. It's just, if you want to get them serious, you got to hit them where it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. And Kanye's first music video, he had, I still remember it, with Selena Johnson singing it for him, but he had Stacey Dash as his girl in the video. I mean, we just remember seeing how beautiful she was because he's just pretty much running after her.
Let's wrap it up. My girl just showed up.
There you go.
All
this
right,
has been the Gauntlet season. What season are we on?
16.
Dang.
Damn,
Actually,
we're better than like the Flintstones and the Simpsons.
It's like 5.
5 episode.
We go
5.
the longest running show on
We missed
network.
one, didn't we?
Yeah. I don't know. I lost count. Doesn't matter.
S5E5.
The next time you guys will see us all together will be on Wednesday night when we make more NFL picks. So,
There we go.
thanks for tuning in, everybody. Sideline Sports Network production. And we'll see you guys next week.
Good night,
Yeah.
Mason, Ohio. I'll see